It has been a really rainy last couple weeks here in Oregon. I thought, what better time than to make some broth? Come along with me as I make some chicken broth to can. I'm gonna start out with the whole raw chicken and I'm gonna roast it and use it for several different dinners. When I'm done using it for that, I'm gonna go ahead and start the broth by chopping up some carrots. Some onion. Celery. Peeled and smashed garlic. When the vegetables start getting slightly browned, I'm going to go ahead and fill my pot with water and leave a little bit of space for the chicken carcass. Now it's time to add your chicken in. You're going to take your carcass and add it to the pot, including any of the fat, any of the skin, any of the bones. I'm going to go ahead and even add some of the vegetables in that were from my roast, including this lemon, which gave my broth a nice lemon flavor in the end. And this stuff is collagen, this gooey looking stuff, so you're going to make sure and definitely add that in as well. Put a lid on your pot and simmer for a few hours. When you're ready to can, you're going to start by washing your jars in some soapy water and then putting them on a towel upside down. My husband upgraded me to this beautiful yellow All-American pressure canner for Christmas this year, and it came with an extra rack so you can do 2 high, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that because I'm only doing 1 rack today. You're going to add some water, about enough to be 1 inch or 2 high on your jars when you put them in. I'm going to go ahead and put my jars in here to keep them warm while I prepare my broth. I'm going to go ahead and strain it through a fine mesh strainer here. I accidentally dumped it over the strainer a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to re-strain it back into my pot from my bowl so that I can keep it warm while I get all the jars prepared. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and put my seals in some water to boil. Now it's time to get your hot jars out of your canner and prepare them to be filled with the broth. Make sure to leave about 1 inch headspace. When they're full, you're going to take a clean, wet rag and wipe off all the edges to make sure that there's nothing on top. When that's done, you're going to use your magnet and get your seals out of your boiling water and go ahead and put them on the tops. Followed by the rims, making sure that they're on snugly. Time for the jars to go back into the hot canner. Followed by the canner lid. This one has these screw-on sides, and so you have to make sure it's nice and level, because if it's not, water seems to steam out the sides. You're gonna get it on nice and tight, making sure it's all even all the way across. This canner also comes with a weighted pressure gauge, which is awesome. And then you're gonna go ahead and let the steam vent out of the canner for about 10 minutes before you add that on there. The processing time for the pint-sized jars I used is 20 minutes. Make sure not to start your time until it has reached 10 pounds of pressure. When it's done and the timer's gone off, I like to take off my pressure gauge, but you don't have to, and let my gauge return to 0 pounds of pressure, and then I can go ahead and remove the lid and remove the jars. And there you have it, home canned chicken broth, ready to use in any recipe or just to sip. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, The Amateur's Guide.